it. Hello everyone and welcome to the Making of Christmas with You, our song. So super excited to show you how we made the music video for this song. We wanted to do something a little bit different and we wanted to introduce the world to the Wubbles. Now the Wubbles are pine cone men that have been a tradition in our Christmas household for a lot of years, and we decided it was time to let them have the limelight for this music video. So I hope that first of all you enjoyed the song and you've enjoyed the music video, and here is how we made it. So to start us off, we come up with our storyboard. Every scene that we drew out, that Paul drew out, did end up on the video, and then I think a few more were added afterwards. But this just gives us a sense of direction. It tells us what we're going to need, and it helps us get the story across. Although the Wubbles did exist before this music video, their log cabin did not. So let's take a look at how we made the log cabin. The log cabin was made by using some sticks that we stole from our friend's woods. Thank you, Jim. And we made the roof using coffee stirrers. Once the log cabin was all put together and painted beautifully by Paul, we then made the front garden for it, making a beautiful scene for their wonderful little home together. We wanted to do a scene where she, Cassie, and he, Toby, were together, and she was passing Toby his space helmet, which is made out of, for his size, it's made out of a plastic clear bauble. But when we wanted to do the close-up scene of Cassie passing Toby the helmet, we obviously needed a bigger version of the space helmet, so we needed to use a plastic goldfish bowl, which we bought especially because we wouldn't ever put a goldfish in it because that is the wrong thing to do. But I'm going to hand you over now to Jade.
Hey guys, so today I'm going to be making some mittens, but bigger mittens. As you can see, these are far too big for him. So we're going to have a close-up of him holding his helmet, which is this one here, which you'll see in the video. He has his space helmet on. And there's a close-up where she is handing the helmet to him. So I'll be making mittens today, and I've started already with her little mitten. I'm just doing the second one here, and then I'll be moving on to his mittens. Oh.
Thanks, Jade. Good job. So in order to film this particular piece, we needed to use some sticks, of all things. Placing our fingers in the mittens did mean that our fingers might show on camera. So we used some sticks, as you can see here, to pass each other the space helmet. Or should I say, for Cassie to pass Toby the space helmet. So therefore, he is now ready to go on his space journey. Off to his rocket he goes. The rocket scene was one of the most time-consuming scenes that we had to do. The actual scene that you see here did take 3 weeks to get. Paul trying various different options. He knew what he wanted, just wasn't sure how to get it, but with hard work and dedication, absolutely got there in the end. So let's show you first of all how the rocket and rocket tower came to be made. So the rocket tower was made out of, you guessed it, coffee stirrers. As you can see, building it there, sticking each piece together, taking his time to make sure it's absolutely right, and it turned out absolutely beautiful. The rocket itself, although we really did want to make it ourselves out of bottles and all sorts of things we could find around the house, we couldn't quite find the right shape. So we ended up using a 3D printed rocket, which is modelled on the Saturn VII. And here we are with the green screen behind it, all ready to go. Paul created the smoke and lit the smoke so that it was looking like it was about to launch. And using the green screen, he was then able to produce this background. There were 2 scenes that were made specifically for the video. The inside of their log cabin, the kitchen, and the front room. So first of all, we see Cassie in the kitchen as she looks out the window. And here is how the kitchen was made. So we started off with a cardboard box, as you can see. Shortly after, the cardboard box was then filled with lovely logs that we also stole from our friend's woods, creating the inside of the log cabin here, and some plastic packaging for the windows. After we've popped the curtains on and inserted the sink, which was made out of clay and of course cotton buds, what else would you use? We have, voila, a kitchen. Here she is looking out of the window. And to do this scene, there's the bubbles for her washing up. To do this scene, we had to get the front room behind her as well, because we needed to do it from the other side of the window. In order to get the outside hedges, they are all made out of little sponge pieces that have been all chopped up and then dyed green, and you'll see how wonderful they look on the snow. And there goes that rocket. The rocket scene flying through the air, showing him going to outer space, as you will see here, was made with using green screen. So here is how it was done. The rocket is up on its stand, and it has a haze tube, smoke machine fluid, coming out of the rocket bottom. This was our favourite scene here to create. So here we had a box underneath all of this, as you will see. Inside the box was the inside of his spaceship, also lit with tiny little fairy lights there. So we really wanted to create Toby looking out of the window, and there he is. Oh, there's the window, as you can see. You can't quite see inside there, but you get the gist of what's going on inside that window there. The space station scene, although you don't see a lot of it, is very important because it is, of course, Toby Wubble's home for pretty much the duration of this music video, whilst he journeys to his Martian planet. So just to show you the making of the space station, as you can see here, the solar panels were made out of CD cases with printed paper inside of it. And this is just a toilet roll, just a good old toilet roll ready for the space station. And there it is, holding together 2 plastic bottles which have all sorts of things, which we will just show you actually. So the space station was made out of anything that looked right that Paul could find to just stick on it, basically. I lost a lot of small items to this space station. So here we have a deodorant bottle right up the top. There's all sorts of little bits and bobs going on, from chewing gums to cocktail sticks, toothpicks. We've got bottle cap tops, we've got gems on there, we've got all sorts of things. And you know what, there'd be a first prize if you could figure out everything that was on there. Once he had stuck everything on there and he found he was happy with that, he then sprayed it all the right colour. So to get this space station scene, we didn't want to use green screen because although space has no atmosphere, we wanted to give it atmosphere. So Paul did it using a black screen and lights to give that lovely light flare across the screen, as you saw. So we have seen the outside of the space station. Now it is time to look inside the space station, which is Toby's home for the duration of his journey to a Martian planet. So let's take a look at how that scene was created, where he is looking at the Earth getting further and further away. To create this scene, we used a simple piece of card and a simple piece of printed paper to get the background there. These foamy things are actually hair curlers, so that created the wall of the inside of the space station. This window, which turned out to be a fantastic space station window, is actually a magnifying light tool that we happen to have, which makes an absolutely perfect window there, as you can see. Now we cut a hole in the middle of this card here, so that underneath the card we could then place the laptop underneath there, having the graphic of the planet getting further and further away. Here we have the camera, which we had to buy a new camera because the camera that we did have, unfortunately, wasn't good enough quality for what we needed for this. So there is our lovely new camera ready to film this scene. But unfortunately, things do go wrong when you're making things like this, and the stand wasn't man enough to put up with the heaviness of our new camera, and unfortunately the stand did break, so we did have to come up with some new ways of holding the camera for that, but we figured it out, as you can see. And there he is looking out the window. And there she is looking out of her window as they longingly wish to be together. So what's happening here is we use the kitchen scene, but obviously without the kitchen. So it's just a different window in the house that she's looking out of there. Behind it, as you can see, the iPad is propped up behind, popping out the graphic there of that wonderful wintry scenery that we've got going on there. This stick that she has coming out of her enables us to move them in a way that makes them look like they're moving, because they really are moving, you know. And there we go. So we wanted to show Cassie doing everyday chores whilst Toby was away on his mission in space, and one of the usual everyday chores was going to post a letter. So to create that scene, we needed to create the whole village. So as you can see here, there she is posting her letter. We've got a lot of things going on in this scene here. So the fences were made, once again, the little picket fences were made out of coffee stirrers. As you can see, the whole family's there, but Toby's, he's not really there, he's in space. We've got a post box ready for her to post the letter, as you can see just there. So there is obviously going to be more, but everything is made of coffee stirrers and glue basically in this music video, and the odd piece of clay, and of course pine cone. The post box is actually a pepper pot, which was sealed up and made to star in this music video. And there's the snowman, but you're going to see him later anyway. So I don't know if you remember earlier, we spoke about the little hedges, which were, when she looks out of the window scene, the hedges were little cut up pieces of sponge dyed green. Well, we like to use every piece of everything, you know, and here is the rest of those sponges just there, which is literally the scouring bits, and they're folded over to create that wonderful hedge look and white picket fence there. Isn't that just the cutest thing you've ever seen? We've got coffee stirrer lodges, we've got lamp posts that have been made out of coffee stirrers as well. Yogurt pots, what yogurt pots? We've got background sceneries going on here, so these are just ornamental houses that you buy for Christmas ornaments, really, ones that you pop little lights in. That's exactly what's going on here. We brought the trees in. The trees were not made for this particular scene. But there it is, pre-snow. The snow hasn't been added yet, but it's looking pretty beautiful. We very briefly see a light, which is representing Toby's ship, heading over to this Martian planet. And the way that Paul did that is he took an image of the Earth and he made it red, and then using graphics had a little light representing Toby heading over to this planet. There we go, there's the landing module, landing, look at it go. Right, so what we've got here is the landing module, which of course was made, and I'm just going to pause it for a moment to show you. So the basic bit of this was made out of hexagonal wood pieces and then all stuck together to form a 3D hexagonal, I don't know if you can call that a box, but we're going to go with hexagonal box. Add on it lots of stuff, just like he added on the space station. We've got gems, probably some chewing gums on there too. We've got bottle lid capsule bits. We've got hair bands for the feet there. We've got coffee stirrers. We've got underneath another yogurt pot. Yogurt pots have so many uses. And then another and a light here. So this light does actually light up, and then this lead that comes out, that's obviously powering the light, which we won't actually see on the video. The main door here is actually made out of a tomato ketchup lid. So you'll never look at tomato ketchup bottles the same way again. You'll always think of landing modules. But once all of this was stuck on, it was sprayed with paint using an airbrush, and voila, we have a wonderful landing module for Toby to land in. So as you can see, also we've got the the planet just there. Now the way that we made the planet here, the planet scene, is a piece of MDMF, and we took expanding foam and sprayed that all over it and then carved it to make it rock shape, along with some sand and some actual rocks which were collected on pretty much every dog walk for a week. And then voila, we do have, there we go, a wonderful planet scene just there. So the rocks at the back there, you can see the expanding foam, they've now been painted to look more like rocks. And here we have got us sped up super fast, showing how we made the landing module land. So as you can see, I'll just pause it for a second, but as you can see, I was there holding it and lifting it up. It was on a pole and some wire, and then I was gently, gradually lowering the landing module to the planet, whilst Paul was there with the airbrush moving the air away from the sand where the landing module would have been landing to give it that realness that it needed. And there we go. This is probably a few takes. There we go. And that's the real thing. So as well as a space station, rocket and everything else that Toby needed to get to space, he also needed a space suit, which we can just about see here, but we'll see more of it and the making of the spacesuit. So here we have Paul using those grey foamy pieces once again, which are hair curlers, sticking them together around him to create this wonderful spacesuit. Inside is a Christmas light so that we could light up the helmet, which, as we mentioned earlier, is a plastic Christmas bauble. And here is his oxygen tank, which I still don't have returned, but that was my pencil sharpener. However, it is now his oxygen tank with lots of stuff added to it. So there he goes in his lovely little spacesuit. We wanted to show them missing each other, so we wanted to show her Cassie making a snowman with the red hat on it, representing Toby, and vice versa. You also see Toby making a rock girl with a pink hat on, representing Cassie. So first of all, the snow scene that we did, again, we needed to do a close-up of this, so we needed to use those tiny mittens again that we made, and the old sticks came back out again. So here we have the sticks. So we wanted to just film her scooping up the snow so that we could then show her making this snowman. Now every time she goes up to the snowman and she walks away, we did have the problem, of course, of moving her and not being able to see her walking stick that I explained earlier. So in order to do this, we needed to cover it up with snow. But then once you move the stick, the snow will then move. So what we came up with was to pop a piece of tubing underneath the snow, and then the stick goes through the snow. Therefore, when she moves to and from the snowman, you don't see any movement from her walking stick there. So there she is with a complete snowman version of her Toby just there. We wanted to show Cassie doing, again, her daily things, and also showing her missing having Toby around. So we wanted to do a choir scene where she joined some of her friends for the evening, which is this scene just here, her walking down the neighbourhood street and then joining her friends. So this is the choir scene that was created. This fire here, although the actual fire was made with all sticks all glued together, and it did have a little candlelight lit in the middle of that, that was also an After Effects added onto there to create that lovely glowing fire there. So there, as you can see in the corner, is my hand operating her walking stick, and the snow was built up nice and high so that the audience couldn't see her walking stick at all. And it did take quite a few takes, this one, to get it right, to get her face in them exactly how we wanted it. So the next scene is probably the most important scene in the video. I don't know, I would imagine that most of you have seen the 1979 film Alien, which this video is inspired by. We wanted to do a Christmas video with a twist. So as you see, there is Toby on the planet, exploring his planet there, and he comes across something he's never seen before. These alien eggs that he has found and stumbled across. These alien eggs were made out of clay, and then, as you can see, very carefully and wonderfully airbrushed and airbrush painted. And there he's using a professional cocktail stick. Once again, they come in handy an awful lot as well, those cocktail sticks. So another way as well to show them living their separate lives temporarily and missing each other, we wanted to show her in bed on the Earth and him in bed on the space station, which you do see later on. But here you can see her bed scene. So just giving that a quick pause so that we can just see the bedroom there. This over here is a pepper pot, which actually was bought in Bali on one of our holidays years ago. And over here, Paul made some lovely, a lovely bedside table there with the drawers, and this lovely little clock here, which is made out of glow-in-the-dark paint, so it does actually glow in the dark, which is very cool. And once again, you might recognise these curtains, so it is from the kitchen scene, but it's now obviously, as you can see, a bedroom. Making the bed was also fun, so I made the pillowcase here, as you can see. I'm pointing out to the camera to you. This is actually just made out of a piece of kitchen roll, sewn together, turned inside out and then stuffed. Paul made the lovely wooden frame for the bed in there, and the duvet cover that she uses is just simply a piece of fabric. To show that Cassie is missing her Toby, we wanted to show her gazing at a photo of the two of them, but we wanted to show her picking it up. So once again, we did a zoom in shot, which we used those mittens that we had already previously used for a few other scenes, and which I literally pop my fingers in and pick up the picture frame, as you can see here. So this is her viewing it, and she's then popped it on the mantelpiece and is having a look at it. We also have, for the first time, the living room scene. Now it's daytime, so as you can see, the fireplace isn't quite lit yet. And we have the fireplace half there, which is just made out of clay and then very beautifully airbrushed with paint by Paul as well, and the Christmas decorations to make it super Christmassy. So we've seen Toby returning to planet Earth, and we are now seeing him walking home through the night to get home for sunrise to see his Cassie. So here he is walking home. So this scene was created similarly to ways we've created other scenes with Cassie. Him walking down the street with a walking stick, which we have used for him. And walking past, once again, these beautiful cabins with the little LED street lamp lights there to light the street up for him. Toby walks through the night until early hours of the morning, where he greets Cassie outside their home, and there she is, hanging up the washing as she does so. So Jade, how did you make that washing line and washing?
I'm going to have a go at making a washing basket from this shuttlecock. So I will check back once that's finished and give you an idea of how it's going to end up looking. Alright, so washing basket complete. Move this stuff out of the way, it's a bit confusing otherwise. And washing line complete with peg basket. And this is the cute little peg basket. Adorable. And the little cute washing basket.
Here is the actual scene as it is, and we did have a little bit of trouble using their walking sticks, using her to turn around. We wanted her to turn around in one smooth motion as she saw Toby coming home with a present for her, a big present I might add. So in order to create this lovely smooth turn, Paul used a bearing and he glued some rope to it so that he could pull the rope and get that really wonderful turn. And to show that excitement of him being home, we sped up her run and made her run nice and fast so that they can kiss each other and greet each other nicely. The living room scene, which we really wanted to create to make it look nice and cozy and Christmassy, with a roaring fire, presents under the Christmas tree. Here is the front room scene, and they are looking very homely there. So we saw this earlier in the daytime, but now it is the night time whilst he is giving her the present. And their little sticks there too. So we also see him passing her the present, and she takes the present as well. Now, creating this once again, as you can see, we used the little mittens with our 2 fingers in, which we did have a real laugh doing, because you wouldn't think that passing a present would be that difficult to do. But when there's a camera involved, you have tiny little mittens and you don't want to get your hands on show, it actually does take a little bit longer than you expect it to. One of my jobs was to make the Christmas presents to go under the tree, as you can see just there. So to do that, I used my Cricut machine and sparkly Christmassy card. The Cricut machine that I've got cuts out the perfect little templates, and I can make them any size that I want to. So they were very small and very fiddly to make, so they did take a little bit of time to make. But they turned out beautiful. And we also used there some lovely glitter tape, which also had to be cut down to size because, of course, to make it to the scale of the little pine cone men. And the little glitter tape represented obviously the ribbon going around those lovely Christmas presents. To go along with the Christmas presents, in the front room we also needed a settee and a coffee table. So to do that, Paul used clay. First of all, we're making here the coffee table. So once moulded beautifully, it was then left to dry and painted into a wonderful wooden miniature coffee table there, which would look wonderful in any doll's house, I have to say. Once he'd completed the coffee table, he then moved on to the settee, repeating the same method there. Ta-da! And just like magic, he waved his magic wand and a settee was produced, as you can see, absolutely beautiful. Also comes complete with removable cushions. And in the front room scene, you will see in the background there, completing the living room. So we see earlier on in the video, we see Toby on the planet looking at the alien eggs, but we also see him looking at a flower as he gazes at the earth. So we assume that he is bringing home that flower as a present for his Cassie, but instead what we see is the present that she reveals. Once she has opened it, she reveals that he's actually brought home one of these eggs, and the egg is now open, which, as you can see from them looking at each other, they know is absolutely devastating because they've also watched the 1979 Alien film. So once again, here we go, you can see the creation of this using the bearings so that they turn very smoothly, and at the same time to look at the camera and go, oh my God, what have we done? What has happened here? Absolutely traumatized. Perhaps their Christmas will be ruined, who knows? Not really sure what to do. Thanks so much for taking your time to watch the making of Christmas With You music video. We hope that you've enjoyed watching the video and also watching the creation of the video. We certainly had an awful lot of fun doing it. As you can see, we've also got merchandise out for the song and the video. So I'm wearing one already. This is probably my favourite because it's got Toby on it and the landing module just there. We've also got a couple of other designs here. So we've got this one that I really love, Christmas With You, which features the wobbles on the front there together. And also we have got this one, I really love Christmas With You, Jatinda. So do feel free to head over to Redbubble and buy them. There's many other merchandise things that you can buy on there, many more items for you to have. Don't forget as well to give our music video a big thumbs up if you've watched it, a thumbs up if you've watched the making of and you've enjoyed it as well. And thank you again so much for your support. And dare I say it, it's early now, but it won't be early when you guys see this, but a very Merry Christmas. I really love Christmas with you. Mwah!